Paulo, Man United 2, Fulham 1.
Yeah.
Could you see that coming?
I didn't see it coming. The whole of the second half, I was thinking, big man, this is not going to happen today. It wasn't going to happen. But like KG said, we believed, or he believed, because
It's only him. At that point.
At that point, it was only him. I thought we were dreadful in the second half. And even in the first half, we were saying inconsistencies, like end to end. And I thought in the second half, Fulham dominated us in possession. I was saying it, I thought Fred should have came on. But then when you see the quality of Eriksen, it's tough. You can't be bringing on Fred. It's so hard. We're in a difficult position right now because we're still, like we said before, we're still lacking depth, quality in depth. And I think if it wasn't for Garnacho, look, it's a draw. But we should have lost that game, really.
We can't delay it any longer. Garnacho,
Yeah.
you know, how are you feeling about that and seeing that, you know, from his performance against Sharif, I think it was.
Yeah.
I don't think he didn't score in that game, but I remember him being lively.
Yeah.
Am I correct? Oh, am I correct in that? Yeah, it was Sharif at home.
Yeah.
Then, you know, Sociedad away.
Yeah.
Then Aston Villa away.
Mm-hmm.
Then home against Aston Villa the other day.
Yeah.
And now this.
Yeah.
You know, he's just slowly starting to show now.
Yeah.
But wow.
He's a baller. Like, you know when you say, like, you can say to a lot of players they're ballers, but he's a baller. Do you know what I mean? He's a baller. And I think he shouldn't be scoring that goal. Like you said, he shouldn't be scoring that goal. The pace, the way he gets his body in the way, like, that's mature decision-making in that moment. And we said today the decision-making in terms of the passing from Bruno at times with Rashford. Rashford went missing when winning the number 9 position.
Did you see him at all today?
Went missing. And I said Garnacho should have came on 70th minute.
Yeah.
Comes on a bit later, but it was still enough. So Ten Hag at the end of the day makes the right decision. What more can I say? He's just man of the match, Garnacho. Man of the match.
How impressive is it to you that a player that young can have that sort of impact already?
I mean, you were saying that like Ronaldo. I mean, when Ronaldo first came into Man United, you saw he had everything except the final ball. And I think with Garnacho, we're seeing his final ball, which is crazy. He's such a young player. And I know a lot of people said he's a great player, like we said with Iqbal, like we've said with many of these other players who are not playing yet. But the fact that Ten Hag has started to play him suggests that, look, he's seeing stuff from him that he's not seen from other players. The quality's there. Yes, the attitude thing, like for me, like that should be in the past now. He's playing because Ten Hag thinks he's ready. And I'm excited to see what happens after the World Cup because he's not going with Argentina. Is he going to continue to play him?
Is that the right thing for you?
What?
To not go with Argentina?
I think so. I think he's still such a young player, and I think it's too much pressure on him. It's too much pressure. You want to keep him grounded. You want to keep him ready for December when we come back. I mean, what's going to happen? We've got Carabao Cup on the 20th and the Boxing Day games. A lot of games to be played, so he's going to be played. And with this form right now, I want to see it. It's just such a shame now that the World Cup is now, and I'm excited for the World Cup, like we said.
Yeah, it's kind of like we could have got the chance to
see more of him.
Yeah,
like more consistently. And now it's like we have to wait and see. Well, like, what's going to happen? It's a month, 5 weeks away, right? So I'm excited to see him back.
2 questions, but they're kind of the same.
Yeah.
How impressed are you with Manchester United's ability to never give up in games?
Yeah.
And how impressed are you with Manchester United's ability to bounce back after damaging defeats? Because it was this time last week that we just was sitting here saying when we got smoked off Villa 3-1.
Yeah.
Fast forward, the next 2 games, Villa and Fulham, we've managed to bounce back and win. That's been a common theme this season. So in both contexts of bouncing back and keep fighting, how impressed are you with the team?
Very impressed. It's down to the personality of the players. You see players like Casemiro, Eriksen, Martinez especially. I mean, Martinez, I think he was kind of suspect in the second half today. But you see, they don't give up, man. You can't have players in your team who they lack that desire to win a game. Like we've seen it sometimes with Rashford last season and even Sancho at times. You can argue that, you know. So when you see players like this, they don't give up. They are quality players who, yes, we say McTominay and Fred, they're players who want to win. Do they have the quality? But maybe not like Eriksen and Casemiro do. But you need both. You need both. And this is why it comes back to the same thing. We're beating the same drum, really. We're lacking that quality in depth. And are we going to make something in January? I don't think so.
Do you think we should? Or no, what do you think we should? Do you think we will?
No, we won't.
No.
We won't. I don't think we will. I think Ronaldo will stay. Martial hopefully stays fit.
Ronaldo will stay?
I think he will stay. I think there's the Chelsea thing, there's the Sporting thing, but Sporting on Europa League. If they were in Champions League, maybe he would have went. But I think he's going to stay. Like, I'm not saying anything about the World Cup, but let's say something, for example, Portugal do something in the World Cup, which hopefully happens.
Yeah, I was going to say that. You want that? You're Portugal.
Hopefully it happens, but he's probably going to stay. And then you think if you finish off the season well, it's like you might as well keep him for the rest of the season, because if he's going to go in January, you got a Martial who
you can't rely on for the whole.
You can't rely on him, and I just don't see us getting a striker in January. We're not that type of club to be active in transfer window, especially when we spent so much money now. So yeah, we have to see what happens.
So you're saying that's not the right thing, but considering how we move as a club and where we are, that's probably what's going to happen.
I think it's not going to happen. Should we? I mean, maybe we should, because we have an unreliable Martial. We've got a Ronaldo who doesn't want to be here. But we're not the type of club who's active in transfer windows. And I mean, Casemiro, Eriksen, and all of these players. Obviously, Eriksen was on a free, but we overspent. But we're getting what we want out of these players either way, like Martinez, for example. So yeah.
And going forward with the team of where we are now, so we've come to this point. I kind of asked you a bit on the stream, but dive into a bit more here.
Yeah.
Where we're at. Where we're at, obviously fifth in the league. You know, look at Tottenham. We're just below them by 3 points, I think, and a game in hand.
Yeah.
So we're 3 points off the top four, I believe. And you know, how do you assess us up until now in these first 14 games under Ten Hag?
I think KG said it perfectly. We're ahead of schedule. We're doing better than what we thought we would. I think most of us would say. I think a lot of people said in the beginning of the season, I would take fifth or sixth, because it's a time of the season where Ten Hag is a new manager. He's bringing in new players, a new style of football. It's going to take years for this to become a reality in terms of the consistency, in terms of the way he wants to play. But we're seeing performances which maybe we didn't expect. We're seeing performances, and it comes down to personality in Martinez and Casemiro, who they don't give up. And you're seeing players like Eriksen. I didn't expect to see this quality from Eriksen. I didn't expect to see, like you said, Casemiro is one of these players. He's solid defensive midfielder, but sometimes he has these passes which you don't see coming.
He's just not. His passing is weird, isn't it? Because I think you said on the street, he's just not consistent with his passing. Sometimes you get a few worldies, then you get a few easy ones that he gives away. But what he does do consistently is sense the danger and be in the right position.
He's a game changer.
Yeah.
He's a game changer. Like Bruno is, like Eriksen. We've got a bunch of those players in the team.
Garnacho is now.
Garnacho is now like. So I think in terms of where we are now, we're in a good spot. Yes, that Villa game was shambles. You can talk about Brentford, you can talk about Brighton. Early on in the season, we're a different team now. We're playing more of what Ten Hag wants to see. I thought today we were dominating in the second half, but that's partly because I think Eriksen went missing. I thought Bruno on the right didn't work again. Rashford number 9, again, he's not a number 9, and I know he scored it last week, but these are things.
It's out of options though of what's actually there. Alanga's not lighting it up, but he had to start the game. There's no Sancho. There's no Anthony.
Nothing.
You don't want to put Garnacho on the right. Look what he done from the left. And it's like, you had to do that. Donny van der Beek's been awful, out of form. So I get it. I get it.
Because if you would have brought Van der Beek on, he would have gone missing again. Because like I've said, he's a player who doesn't suit well if you're getting dominated. If you're getting dominated in possession like Fulham were in the second half, he wouldn't do anything. And that's why I probably would have brought on Fred. But again, we won the game. So if we would have drawn that game, I probably would have said Ten Hag, you should have brought on Fred, because Eriksen went missing. But again, goes back to the same thing, not the quality that Eriksen has.
Top 4 on then, massively for you?
Definitely. It's definitely on. I'm nervous about what happens with our players in the World Cup and when they come back. Like you said, we talked about this off stream. You think they're playing games where nothing should really happen. They're playing games every 4 or 5 days. So they should be all right when they come back. You know, a lot of these players are not going to play every single game in the World Cup, but we do have a lot of players who are going away. So we have to see when it comes to that second, third week in the World Cup, see where the players are at and see, you know, what players are ready to start as soon as we come back for the Carabao Cup.
Lastly, give me a man of the match.
Garnacho.
Everyone's going to say that.
Yeah.